The sky above us isn't just full of stars anymore, it's full of satellites, thousands of them. And that number is growing fast. In fact, there's a good chance that right now, above your head, dozens of them are silently racing across the sky, shaping the way we communicate, navigate, and even wage war. From internet in the remote Arctic to real-time military intel on the battlefield, the stakes have never been higher. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you love cutting-edge tech stories, and drop a super thanks or become a channel member if you'd like to support more in-depth videos like this one. We're building a community of space nerds, truth seekers, and future thinkers, and we want you to be a part of it. As of now, there are about 12,000 satellites orbiting Earth. Over 7,000 of them belong to just one company, SpaceX. Their project, Starlink, aims to bring global internet coverage by surrounding Earth with a massive constellation of satellites. But they're not stopping at 7,000. SpaceX has approval for up to 42,000. Starlink promises connectivity in places where internet has never reached: remote villages, disaster zones, even mountaintops. It's revolutionizing communication in ways most of us take for granted. But Starlink is only half the story. There's another lesser-known project called Starshield. While Starlink serves the public, Starshield is built for the Pentagon. Backed by a $1.8 billion contract, this top-secret satellite network is designed for defense, surveillance, and secure communications. It's like Starlink's darker twin, with beefed-up encryption, customizable modules, and government-only access. Starshield satellites are already being used by the US Marines and are gaining traction across military divisions. But here's the twist: Starshield and Starlink share much of the same technology. Both networks use inter-satellite lasers to transmit data without traditional radio signals. This makes them fast, secure, and virtually untouchable. The result? A communications system with incredible power, and a private company with a hand in modern warfare. In Ukraine, Elon Musk himself claimed Starlink is the backbone of the Ukrainian military. In Gaza, one hospital was granted limited access after long negotiations. These examples show just how blurred the lines are between civilian tech and military might. Who gets to decide who gets access to the internet in a war zone? A government or a billionaire? China is now working on its own mega constellation. Amazon has plans. So does OneWeb. The satellite race is no longer about prestige, it's about dominance. But there's a dark side. Space is getting crowded. Starlink satellites already dodge debris every few minutes. With more constellations on the way, they'll be adjusting their paths every few seconds. Collisions are becoming more likely. Remember the term Kessler Syndrome? It's the theory that one collision could trigger a domino effect, smashing satellites into pieces that then destroy more satellites. If that happens, low Earth orbit could become unusable for generations. Thousands of tons of space junk are already orbiting Earth, forming a chaotic web of debris circling the planet at astonishing speeds. Each fragment, some as small as a marble, travels at over 25,000 kilometers per hour, many times faster than a bullet. At these velocities, even the tiniest shard has the destructive force to obliterate a satellite, compromising billion-dollar infrastructure in the blink of an eye. The International Space Station and other critical spacecraft must constantly monitor and adjust their trajectories to avoid these invisible threats. But the danger doesn't end when a satellite completes its mission. Even a so-called peaceful retirement isn't without risk. As satellites re-enter Earth's atmosphere, they burn up under extreme heat, releasing microscopic aluminum oxide nanoparticles into the upper layers of the atmosphere. These nanoparticles are incredibly light and persistent, capable of remaining in the stratosphere and mesosphere for decades. And here's where things get worrying. Aluminum oxide interferes with the natural chemical reactions that protect our ozone layer, the very shield that blocks harmful ultraviolet radiation from reaching Earth's surface. A study published in 2024 estimated that a single 800-kilogram satellite can release as much as 30 kilograms of aluminum oxide upon disintegration. Multiply that by tens of thousands of planned satellites, not just from SpaceX, but from China's Guang network, Amazon's Project Kuiper, and OneWeb. And the cumulative effect becomes alarming. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of kilograms of persistent metallic nanoparticles entering the atmosphere over the next few decades. Scientists warn that these particles may catalyze ozone depletion, much like chlorofluorocarbon CFCs did before they were banned. In short, while these satellites promise global internet, instant navigation, and unmatched communication, they may be silently contributing to atmospheric damage that is difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. This silent pollution, invisible to the naked eye, has no borders and no quick fixes. It's a high-tech dilemma in desperate need of low-tech wisdom, international cooperation, and future-proof regulation. Russia, lacking the manufacturing capacity and financial resources to launch mega constellations like Starlink or China's Guang system, is doubling down on a different kind of space strategy: anti-satellite warfare. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening. In November 2021, Russia launched a direct descent missile and deliberately destroyed one of its own obsolete satellites, Cosmos 1408, creating over 1,500 pieces of trackable debris and possibly tens of thousands of smaller, untrackable fragments. The international community, especially the United States, condemned the act as reckless and irresponsible. But the threat doesn't stop there. Recent intelligence leaks and official statements have fueled speculation that Russia is now developing nuclear-based anti-satellite weapons, designed not just to disable one satellite, but to knock out entire swaths of low Earth orbit infrastructure in a single blast. The potential impact of such weapons would be devastating. Not only would they create an uncontrollable field of debris, but they could also cripple communication networks, GPS systems, and military satellites worldwide. This raises chilling questions about the fragility of our orbital infrastructure. If even one of these debris fragments collides with a Starlink or Starshield satellite, it could trigger a chain reaction of collisions, what scientists call Kessler Syndrome, rendering low Earth orbit unusable for decades. The fallout wouldn't just affect internet speeds or streaming services, it would disrupt global military coordination, emergency response networks, weather monitoring, aviation, and much more. In short, it could bring modern life to a grinding halt. As the weaponization of space becomes an undeniable reality, we're entering a new era, one where a single missile could have global consequences far beyond any battlefield. The question now is whether our satellite networks and the people who depend on them can survive the next phase of this high-stakes space race. Starlink satellites.
The internet has changed the way we live and interact with each other. In a world without the internet is Starlink satellites, which plan to provide global internet coverage. But how does the internet work from space? How can Starlink satellites provide internet service from space? Talk about all that and more. Starlink is a global initiative by SpaceX to create a global broadband network by using a constellation of low Earth orbit (LEO) satellites. To provide flight system sends radio signals across space. Ground stations provide signals to satellites in space, which then transfer the information to Starlink users on Earth. The goal of isn't the only company today in the competition of providing internet, sat, etc. are all targeting this new thriving market. But SpaceX edges past everyone because of the following reasons. This reduced geostationary orbit increases internet speeds and decreases latency. The most recent Starlink satellites contain laser communication parts that allow signals to SpaceX plans to launch up to 40,000 satellites, assuring worldwide and distant satellite coverage with fewer service interruptions. Starlink has the benefit of being a subsidiary of SpaceX, which in addition also undertakes partner launches on a regular basis. Due to the significant costs involved, other satellite internet providers may be unable to arrange frequent projects by SpaceX. Elon Musk recently stated that SpaceX plans to do a Falcon 9 launch every week, and most of them might do Starlink launches if not any major missions. Even the upcoming Starlink around 230 kilograms.
vaporize.
The initial
under
plan of
extreme
SpaceX
heat.
was to launch a satellite constellation made up
This
of
process
4,000
releases
cross-linked
microscopic
satellites.
particles of aluminum oxide
That number today has
into the
increased much more.
mesosphere and
The
stratosphere.
technology behind Starlink is even
Scientists
more
warn that
amazing.
these nanoparticles
The
don't
details
simply
of the
vanish.
phased array
They can
technology
linger in the
were
upper
revealed as part of
atmosphere
the
for
frequency
decades,
application.
potentially disrupting the
SpaceX
chemical
maintains
balance that
secrecy
protects
on the
life on Earth.
optical
One of the
inter-satellite
greatest
links.
concerns is the
The
impact
early
on the
Starlink
ozone
satellites
layer.
did not have laser
The ozone
connections.
acts like
In late
Earth's
2020,
sunscreen,
the inter-satellite
shielding
laser
us from the
connections
sun's
were
harmful
successfully
ultraviolet
tested.
rays.
In a recent interview,
Aluminum
Elon
oxide
shared his
particles
plan
have
to
been shown to
mass-produce
catalyze
Starlink
reactions that
satellites.
deplete
SpaceX is a
ozone,
new player in the
much like
satellite
CFCs
communications
did in the
industry.
past.
SpaceX
And
requested the
unlike
FCC in
CFCs,
February of
these particles come
2015
not from
to
industrial
explore
waste, but
potential
from
creative
high-tech
applications of the
satellites designed to
Ka-band
deliver
spectrum
global internet.
before committing to
According to
5G
recent
communications
studies, a single
regulations that
800
might
kilogram
impose
satellite,
obstacles to entry.
like those used in the newer
SpaceX's
Starlink
non-geostationary
5G
orbit communications
can release
satellite
up to 30
constellation
kilograms
will
of aluminum
operate in
oxide.
high-frequency bands above
Now,
24
multiply that
gigahertz,
by the
where
projected
steerable Earth
42,000 satellites in the full Starlink constellation, plus similar constellations from competitors like Amazon, OneWeb, and China's Guang network. The result? A continuous stream of nanopollutants being injected into the very layer of our atmosphere we should be protecting. In short, we may be exchanging one kind of pollution for another. The convenience of instant global connectivity, lightning-fast communication, and real-time surveillance comes at a price we're only beginning to understand. And unlike plastic waste or urban smog, you can't simply clean up the stratosphere with a few policy changes or recycling programs. These developments raise serious questions about how we define sustainability in space. Should satellite companies be required to recover hardware post-mission? Is it time to implement stricter global standards for satellite design and re-entry protocols? And how much environmental risk are we willing to tolerate for the sake of faster streaming and stronger Wi-Fi? As the race to dominate low Earth orbit intensifies, these are no longer hypothetical questions. They are urgent, real-world concerns. The future of Earth's skies and possibly our atmosphere may depend on how we answer them. This isn't just a question of technology. It's a matter of who holds the power to shape the future of our skies, and possibly even our planet. The conversation about satellites isn't just about convenience. It's about global responsibility, transparency, and foresight. If we don't act now, we risk trading short-term benefits for long-term damage that may not be reversible. We are standing at a crossroads where space is no longer the exclusive domain of government agencies. It has become a commercial battlefield, with private corporations launching thousands of satellites and quietly redefining the rules. The skies have gone from serene to strategic, from wide open to dangerously crowded, and as the space race accelerates, so too do the consequences. So let's ask the tough questions. Who governs the use of space? Who ensures accountability? Should any one company, no matter how innovative, have this much influence over the very infrastructure that modern life depends on? Share your thoughts in the comments. Is Starshield necessary national security or the beginning of a dangerous precedent? Is Starlink a tech marvel or a ticking time bomb? If you appreciated this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and hit that super thanks. Or join button to support more content like this. It's your curiosity and support that keep this channel reaching for the stars. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and above all, stay connected.